Hey everyone, this is Dimitri Pargamonic with MarketChameleon.com. I wanted to share a few tips on how to create a watch list. It's really like starting points or ideas when you're creating a watch list. I'm going to just scroll down here and show you what I mean. And this is my watch list, and over here I just have it defaulted to the S&P 500 sectors. And what I'll do is, for example, just see what the price performance is today, which ones are underperforming, which ones are overperforming. So today, technology is doing relatively well to the other sectors, and as we can see here, the communication service sector is underperforming. Let me just expand that to show all actually the real estate sectors underperforming the rest of them. Or if you wanted to see just for different time periods, like year in the last year, we see that the technology sector over here has performed really well, up 33%. And out of the sector, we could see here that the energy sector has really lagged. It's down actually 5.3% for the year. And of course, you could do that in the last 3 months, 2 weeks. You have all these options over here. Another way to compare, I created a couple different groupings. So here, for example, this is ETF's growth versus value. So in the last year, I'll sort it here. So we see here that growth ETFs that's performed really well. It's up 24.6% on a 1 year basis. And then let's just see, I'm going to sort it. And then over here, we see that value has underperformed over here, 6.9%, up 6.9% for the year versus growth of 24.6. And it kind of gives you an idea here. I have a couple different value ETFs and a couple different growth ETFs, mid cap, large cap, Russell 1000 value. And this way you get kind of an overall picture how each of them performed relative to each other. Another ETF grouping I have is by market cap. So here, for example, I constructed different ETFs, large cap, mid cap, small cap stocks, just to see how they're performing versus each other. So on a 1 year basis, we see growth has done really well. So the large cap growth stocks, that's up 23.7% for the year. Now I'm going to resort it, and we see here that I have a mid cap dividend ETF performed 10.8%. We see here the Russell 2000, that's up 13% for the year. So that's actually the small cap stocks have been lagging or not performing as well. So most of that growth, most of the price appreciation has been in the large cap ETFs. And this kind of paints me a picture how well the stocks are performing relative to each other, and maybe the small cap stocks aren't participating yet in this economy, or is all the growth in the large cap stocks, and that kind of gives you some indication how the economy is growing. And we could see here the mid cap, so the high beta stocks are actually underperforming the large cap stocks. Another grouping that sometimes I like to do is take a look at, for example, a group of stocks that might be interesting that I think are growing. And I created this one. It's called the big data companies. And what these companies are they say that the next big companies are the ones that control lots of data and information, right? That's like the next oil or the next real estate. Now it's big data companies. So, like, for example, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. I even put some of these as Capital One and American Express. These are credit card companies. They also collect a lot of data on spending habits. And I took so I'm kind of monitoring these, and I'll show you what I do first. I just kind of compare them to each other. So I see, Apple had the biggest growth, followed by Facebook and Microsoft in my group. If you want to just look up earnings, upcoming events, you just switch up to here and see, well, when are earnings coming up, when are dividends coming up, or any type of events. So over here, we see that this American Express, they're going to have a conference on December 10th. So it kind of just lets me know what are events that might be coming up that I should be looking at that might impact the price of the stock, or if there's a dividend, when is that dividend coming up? And it's a really quick way of just looking through stocks in my watch list. And for example, if I'm looking at the big data, and I have this already saved in my watch list, and I gave it a name. It's in a group. I could go anywhere on the website now and look for ideas. So, for example, I could go in here and say, show me my watch lists, and I'm going to go to big data. So this is my big data list over here, and now I could kind of just scan for ideas. Microsoft, here's some bullish ideas, bullish vertical spreads, Google, Amazon. This way, I see what's popping up right now that might be interesting based on, where the market price is, what we think the theoretical value is, the potential edge in this trade, and the win rate. And this way I could just decide if I want to do something or if I want to just go and explore this trade further. I click on this options chain. It'll take me to the options chain. It'll set up the legs of that spread for me over here, buying the 1727.5 put, and then selling the Jan 30 1732.5 put. I could load that, take a look at the payout diagram at expiration, look at the theoretical value, and kind of decide if I want to do a spread in there or not. So this is one, and some ideas when you're setting up a watch list, how you potentially want to group them together, so you kind of know how to analyze and look at them relative to each other, or if you wanted to go and use that group and see, analyze their fundamentals versus each other, to get a relative value, or run them through certain scans to see if you wanted to do a certain trade. You could run them through screeners, bull call spreads, bear put, any of these screeners. Look up any news today, so we could go over here on my watch list, look at the big data and see what type of news is coming out on any of these stocks. So this allows you to kind of keep track and be much more organized and potentially seize on opportunities when you create a watch list and you really group them together, so you can make really quick, easy relative comparisons. Hopefully this was helpful, everyone, and see you guys in this next video. Bye.